sometimes it's just very hard to find the time to do the garden work. I love the idea of having a garden and being able to grow lots and lots of food myself, but I struggle finding the time for it. I guess it has to do with what kind of life phase I'm in. Now I have kids and a job and a house and family obligations, and it's like my alarm clock goes off at 6 a.m. and my day is full. I arrange my days according to lists. I just love making lists, so I have lists of everything I need to get done, and the feeling of accomplishment when you just can line out something from the list is something I just love. And my lists are divided into have to do and want to do, would be nice to do. And the phase that I'm in now, the have to, oh, here comes the door. All right. The have to do list is quite long. I have to go grocery shopping. I have to wash the clothes. I have to bring my daughter to school. I have to go to work. So there is a lot of have to do's and not enough time for the want to do's. And I would love to have spend more time in my garden. And I would love for it to be further along than what it is. And when you don't see the results from the work you do in the garden as quickly as you'd like, it's easy to sort of lose the motivation and just not put in the work in the garden. And I'm struggling a little bit with that. We moved in here 5 years ago, and the garden is still chaotic. We're having some problems sort of deciding where the different things should be in the garden. It feels like we're doing one step forward and 2 steps backwards, and 1 step forward and 3 steps backwards and 2 steps forward. So we have tried different things and rearranged different things and lost a lot of time in this process. So I would really have liked that we would be further along than what we are. But yeah, we're not. I think it was Tony Robbins that had this saying, most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can achieve in 10 years. And I try just sitting down a little bit in the garden sometimes and remember that when it feels all overwhelming and frustrating and it feels like I'm just banging my head in the ground and not getting anywhere. So I thought we'd head out in the garden now a little bit and have a look at all the things that we have been working with and redoing and doing over and over again. So right now I'm sitting actually in my greenhouse. The greenhouse is something that I'm quite happy about. First, I did have a plastic greenhouse and that lasted only 1 season. So we decided to purchase one that's a little bit more stable. And this, I think we've had this now for 2-3 seasons. And I'm quite happy with this one. Another project that we have been working hard on, and for several years, is the parking place that you see behind me here. We have only 1 space in the garage for 1 car, and we do have 2 cars. We have made the wall here, and we've just made this paved area between the garage and the parking place. We just finished that now this year, so this area is now completed, but it has taken it's taken us a lot of time that could have been used gardening. Another project that we have continuously been working on is our firewood storage, because we want to try and make as much firewood ourselves as we can, but our land here is a little bit small. It's not large enough to really process the amount of firewood that we need, nor do we have enough storage. So we're trying to solve this, and we have tried different ways and different areas on our property for storing the firewood, which also has led to a lot of carrying back and forth and a lot of time consumed by this project, which is less time for me to do the gardening. When we first moved here, the area behind me now is where I decided that my garden should be, or where I should grow food, because this area is sort of at the end of the property, and I said we just take this area for growing and we don't mess up putting firewoods or anything else here. So I do have boxes in here, but it's all overgrown right now, so it's hard to see. And I tried putting annual plants in here, and I tried doing various techniques, from throwing in mixed seeds to transplanting small seedlings, but nothing has really worked. So the only thing that's going to be working here is to plant perennial stuff that will grow more or less on its own. And so far I have 2-3 plants that I'm going to keep here, and then I will substitute everything else. What seems to be working well is this wild rucola. It's perennial and it comes up each year. Particularly this last year, it has grown very well. We also have some, not this one, but the rest here is like oregano, these flowers that you see here. And this seems to be spreading on its own. And over here we have peppermint, and that is also spreading and growing very well on its own. And when we first moved here and I said I wanted to put boxes in here, one of my neighbors said that that's not going to work, because it was growing like crazy with weeds here, especially comfrey that was all over the place. But I thought that I would be able to get things to grow here, so I tried anyway. I just put in a lot of work and a lot of weeding, and there has not come a lot of produce out of this spot. What was also growing here from before were some berries. We have gooseberries and red currant and a huge cherry tree. And all of these are producing food. The rest of the garden is really still a bit undecided. We have a playing area and the area next to the parking place, which we're not quite sure yet what to do about. And then we have an area over here that I would like to tackle and get something growing. And at the front of the house along the driveway, we also have an area which we could do a lot more with. So there's definitely potential here. So when I get overwhelmed and feeling like everything is progressing way too slow, I try and take a step back and remember that people tend to overestimate what they can get done in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. So we've been here now for 5 years, and if I get 5 more years, maybe it starts to get to the point where I want it to be.